So people in my emails, and they told me that uh I need to be in the gaming community a lot more, right? And tell me I need to be in the anime space more, and I need to be in certain communities more because the Black Manosphere is this and that. And I had to tell them that almost every single space and very good every single space and hobby has been invaded with like a bunch of people who can't fit in their own world. Like I told you that there's a lot of people out here who washed out in regular society, and that's the reason why they're online. The former thugs, the OnlyFan whores, the 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 guys who can't fit in anywhere else, so they become quote unquote gamers. So we going through this shit again. I remember I made a video I think last year about what was it about quantum TV shit, right? And how nobody talked about other content creators talking about Elden Ring. They only went after quantum TV, which they lost, and all of that shit happened last year. So this year we have a new contender for ball sack, the game of the year, right? So wait, let me plug this in. I'm downloading I was downloading something, so I made a comment on, one of the gaming channels, right? Oh my bad, in the wrestling community too. And I made a comment about this game cuz everybody hyped up Elden Ring last year, and everybody was telling them about the flaws. These people waited almost a whole entire couple of months before Elden Ring, after the Elden Ring hype was done. Finally, people started making Reddits and YouTube videos about how Elden Ring wasn't the best and it was overhyped. After the shit went down. So, for a couple people who said that they have better grammar, they have better social skills, I think that these people don't have great communication skills and conflict resolution, because the first skills that you're supposed to learn is not to uh, escalate anything, and supposed to understand every perspective, right? So I made a comment, and I said this. So this guy says, I played Baldur's Gate and I realized something. There's 100% actual content. They made this claim that Elden Ring last year was 100% content. Of course RPG is going to have 100% content because it's an RPG. There's no need to monetize an RPG and try to nickel and dime everything. You can tell what type of gamer these people really are based off their comment sections, right? I play a lot of Sony games. Most of Sony games are finished. You're not paying extra shit except for DLC, and that's stuff that either they're saving or they develop later on. A lot of these guys play the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again until they get sick of it. Don't you remember back then in the early 2006, 2007, 2006 to 2000 and 2006 to 2014? Maybe that there were so many first person shooters. You had the rise of Call of Duty. You had Medal of Honor going down. You had Battlefield. You had all these different things that happened. You had the Wii U. You had all these different things that happened during that time period where it was so many ideas that went out there that pretty much everybody got burnt out. These are the same people. Probably I'm older than them, probably by a landslide. But the thing is, I remember when Guitar Hero was a thing. And what happened to that? it crashed and burned. I remember when Wii U was a thing. How was that again? It crashed and burned. I remember when there were so many first person shooters that everybody was changing their identity to match first person shooters. So The Witcher 3 came out, right? And it became some success. And gamers or game developers started taking things from The Witcher, right? And then they started taking things from Breath of the Wild. Then for some reason, people got sick of that. Developers making games for that. You know what happened? Now, they want every single game to be 1,000 hours plus. And I asked these same people, and I asked this on Twitter, wait, you're paying more for food, you're paying more for restaurants, you're paying more for a whole bunch of other things. Did you ever ask these people that you're paying 10 times more money to, they should give you something extra? Why is it that you only ask for video games to give you more content? Right? Now, there's very little filler like in every single AAA game. See, these are the people who don't pay attention to game design. Right? Let me give you a thing right here, right? When they say shit like this, the game is 100% content. There's very little filler, zero filler, like in every single AAA game. So every single game got filler in it, and this game has no filler in it, right? This what happens when you don't play games and you don't look through the details. I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West, and I just finished playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Only one side mission was really filler. The rest of them had some type of plot to it. My favorite game that I'm playing right now, Watch Dogs 2, had very little filler in it when it comes to their side missions. Every side missions had a purpose, and it was coincide with the main missions. But a lot of these idiots are never going to talk about the games that do it great next to the games that don't. So now they make things like this and nobody corrected them. Every single AAA game has filler in it now. So that means this guy probably only played Ubisoft games. Because if I gave this guy a list and told this guy, give me a list of the games that every game had filler in it, right? Now we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something to show you guys. Let's see. Baldur's Gate 3. I'm gonna show you how these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it shows these people hop on the train. Okay. Let's look at Larian Studios. Let's look at the studio that created this game. They have no experience making anything else outside of RPGs. So, you're trying to go against a whole bunch of people just like Witcher. Mind you, let's go down the list about Witcher and how much content was in The Witcher 3 and how many people didn't beat The Witcher 3. Now let's go to that. So, Larian Studios, right? Tencent owned a majority stake in the company. Tencent owns them. Now, Tencent is $1 billion company. Wait, let me see. Tencent is a $1 trillion company. So these developers have an endless budget to make whatever game they want, next to other other companies who don't have that much money to spend trying to make this better game, knowing that they ain't gonna get any money back, right? So let's go to Larian Studios. Let's see. Larian Studios. Now, as you see, Larian Studios don't have great games. None of their games sell at all. Let's see their last game that they put out. Let's see the sales. Let's see the sales. Let's see the sales. Wow. The best studio in the world who creates some of the best games possible. For some reason, campaign which raised on Kickstarter, it only made over $2 million in 2 months. It sold an estimate of $660,000 in a month. It sold $7.5 million. Wow, the best studio in the world is somehow can't sell big numbers. Next to the so-called AAA games that somehow is so bad, they don't sell, right? Now, let's go. Let's go right here. Their games are not known at all for anything else. They are not known to make open world games. They don't have the ability to make open world games. They haven't tested their actual development skills. I don't want to hear about how good someone is if they're comfortable making one particular game. Guerrilla Games were used to making first-person shooters. Their first attempt at making a different game was Horizon series. They're doing a pretty good job. The second attempt for CD Projekt Red, which was Cyberpunk, it was broken on launch, and it took them 3 years to make the game, and they still didn't have life paths in the game. But CD Projekt Red fanboys are sucking it off. Elden Ring was this best game ever until people exposed it. So, let's see their games. Wow. Over the top. This is what their games are. This is what their games look like. But I thought they was the best studio ever. People should have the standards. People should get by the standards of this studio, right? This is the standard that everybody should be. RPG over the top games. That's what we should be doing now. RPG games. This is all they know how to do is RPG. Now, let's see this. This is somehow a greater game than anything else. This is what I'm talking about when it comes down to the lies that these people be saying and the overhyped shit. Now let's go to The Witcher 3. Let's go to The Witcher 3. Okay. Mind you, The Witcher 3 was so-called praised by so many people. I remember when everybody was overhyping The Witcher. Oh, The Witcher 3 is the best game ever. It has the best integral thing in this. It's better than every AAA game out here. And only 27% have managed to finish the main story. But the percentage get worse on Elden Ring. Because all that hype that they talked about, I'm playing this game for thousands of hours, only a small group of people beat the game. This is the reason why I don't like conversing with people, because they're unintelligent and they don't come with any type of real facts behind them. Now, let's go back to my comment, and let's go back to the comment right here. Every single game, there's no towers to unlock. There's no cut and paste towers to clear out. Most games don't have towers. Right? This is how dishonest these piece of shits really are. This is why I don't like being in the gaming space unless I'm talking to people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. If you're gonna take a jab at Ubisoft, take a jab at Ubisoft. You have to understand that people don't have time to play video games for hours and hours and hours. People don't have time to explore every little thing in the map. They want one point A, they want point B. They want the main mission, and they want to beat the main mission, and they want to beat a little bit of the side missions. They're not trying to figure out every single thing in the game because they might be constrained with time. A lot of you are very dishonest, and you're a bunch of liars thinking that you know the whole game. This game is not complicated. It doesn't have any complicated systems. It's not a Days Gone. And a Days Gone, technically wise, that shit, if you get to certain levels of that map, it freezes on you. And even some levels in that map, some areas in the map, the damn game blacks out, and it basically the textures and shit goes in and out in one part of the game. That one part. And you gotta literally like brute force through it in order to beat that part of the game. That's because everything is working at one point, right? Most people don't have a lot of budget because they want to get their money back, right? And the towers are made, and this is why I say everybody's dishonest. The reason why it's got towers there to open up the map and give you things little bit by little bit. You know why? There's a reason why Grand Theft Auto changed their level design after Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories was probably the last. No. Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories was one of the last games on PlayStation 2 before they changed the design, where you don't have to figure out and memorize all the streets, because people complain about that. That's an old design made to make the game a little harder, even though the game shouldn't be hard like that, because you making it work just to discover things in the game. And then you're not gonna make it a target in the open world, right? You have to discover it, and then for some reason it's not gonna be on the map, and you still got to go back to the place. That's the reason why people are not playing Elden Ring over and over again, because that constraint of exploring, it takes away the exploring part the first time around. You don't want to go re-explore a game that you played already, that you put 1,000 hours in already. And most games give you the ability to take all that stuff off. The tower situation and the camp situation is it's modern day gaming, and they don't want to make it super uber complicated, and they want to make you play with different styles. See, it's an RPG. You can't have different types of styles. It's a turn-based RPG from what I've seen. Let's go to Baldur's Gate 3 before I go more often. Let me go tag to now.
Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's go right here. Videos. Come on. Let's. I don't want to hear nobody's voices or nothing.
Let's go, my children. Baldur's Gate 3 is finally here, and it's...
Wow! This is so technically advanced right here. This is so great right here. A over-the-top game that doesn't show any type of real graphics to it. This is Baldur's Gate 3, the best game ever that you saying that's better than open world. They don't have any big things on here. But you want to talk about how bad other games are. You understand that people have budgets. Game studios have budgets. Nobody is going to spend $1 billion on one game because they're going to have to make $1 billion back. You understand that, right? This game isn't... Larian Studio isn't a company that can hold any company on their back. This is one successful game they had. I just looked at their catalog. Their games don't do that well. Their games are only on PC. This is their only success. Biggest success they had. But I can tell you right now, just like what CD Projekt Red and when they failed, if you gave Larian Studio an open world crime game or open world game, they would fail. Because they don't know what they're doing. Just like Elden Ring pretty much failed to keep people engaged year after year. I asked everybody who was talking shit about Elden Ring, who was sitting there talking up for Elden Ring, I asked them, you gonna play Elden Ring next year? All next year? And they all said yeah. So I put a video in the bookmark. All of those people who talked about Elden Ring and everything else found their comments, their channels and everything else, came back, commented and said, are you playing Elden Ring again? Oh, I've done Elden Ring. No. But last year you said Elden Ring was the best game ever. And no games, every other game is bad and it's copy and paste and blah, blah, blah. You could tell how some of these people really are. They share the same fucking views and bullshit. They follow whatever a big content creator tells them to do. If a content creator told them to eat dog shit because it makes you healthy, they will eat dog shit because a content creator told them, or their friends going around eating dog shit. They don't think for themselves. I think this generation that we're in right now is the most influential generation. If somebody told them that AIDS was good to get, they would get AIDS because someone else told them if it was a challenge, they would do it. They would get A's just for a TikTok challenge. These are the same people who talking shit about me who use the word res. So what the hell? This is what we talking about being the best game ever. This is what we talking about being one of the best games ever. See, tell what Larry and Studio need. Let me tell you what makes them what would make them better. If they had an open world with a destructible environment, bullet physics, or the ability to let's see. Destructible environment, bullet physics, enemy AI that is smart and have different techniques. All types of other stuff that didn't rely on this over-the-top bullshit. Let's see if they can do an open world AAA studio type game better than the AAA studio games. See, the developers was telling these idiots that they can't make a game like this game because they have constraints. It's only but so much money that somebody's going to give to a video game. They're not going to give a game. Not a lot of games go above $800 million to make. Not a lot. And most games don't go $1 billion. They got to cut things out and save it for the next sequel. But you don't get it. That's why I said that half of these idiots, if they ran a studio, they were running it to the ground. Because eventually people would get sick of this RPG shit and this fake aspiration bullshit where you don't put shit on the map and you tell me to go out and explore. And then I'm lost and I'm sitting here spending more time than I should be trying to find things that I should be finding instead of me going to point A to point B. See, your game must have a lasting effect so people can pick it back up later on. People still pick up these so-called copy and paste games. But most people don't pick up these long-ass exploration bullshit games ever again. They burn themselves out. These games are one-and-done games. A lot of these people don't want to mix it with me when it comes down to RPGs. I have played tons of RPGs. Games like, what is it called? A Dishonor, or not Dishonor, Dystoria, whatever, I forgot what it was called. It's about a demon, prince, and it's a strategy RPG. You have to literally level up to 1 billion fucking levels in order to beat bosses that got trillions of fucking health bars. Play a game like Relancer, Dark Cloud, Ateria Iris. All these different games that I'm butchering it right now because I'm not into these games no more. I have at least 30 or 40 RPGs under my belt. So I know RPGs and know how easy it is for them to make them. That's why they made RPGs. They was making RPGs just left and right until they started seeing that these RPGs are easy to make, but they don't come with no profit. You need to keep the lights on. And you need to keep servers alive. And you need to pay your people off. And people in the company need to have a project account, and they have to have a company account. They can't keep pulling money out of their business that keeps the business running. And that's why they have to have investor. An investor is going to look at it and say, I want my money back fast. So, this is Baldur's Gate 3. The game that they said was the best game ever. Right? So, let's go. Finally, it went back. So, The mind-numbing fashion, everything in the game serves a purpose. Even encounters that don't have a crest ties, just on-off counter, it still in any way makes it more environmental storytelling. Just think about it. It blows my mind that a game that has 100 hours of content, all unique content, is not just copy and paste towers, collectibles, and antennas. This is what I talked about with Elden Ring, right? These are the type of people who gonna burn themselves out, and then they gonna jump back to the games that they talked about because everybody else is talking about those games. They did it this year. None of these people are playing Elden Ring all year next year. I asked these people, was you playing Elden Ring the whole year? And they all said no. Wait, but it's the best game ever. It doesn't hold your hand and this and this and that. They all does this bullshit of downplaying other people's games or downplaying other games. And then when they overindulge on one game, they look stupid because they have to go back to the old games that they just talked about. Because nobody is going to be sitting here making games for every little thing in a game. It's an RPG. Of course they can do all that because they're not working with actors. They're not working with facial animations. They're not working with 100 actors. They're not working with certain actors. They're not working with location. They're not working with the technical know-hows of open world games. That shit costs more money. Most games cost more money to make than this game. So, this is what I said. You get for, it's a, my bad. It's an RPG, not an open world game. If they had to make an open world game, it would take at least 15 years to make. Stop acting like this game is so good and better when it's a small game next to other games. They spent less money. Not everyone like RPGs. That never stopped by next year. Nobody will be playing that game because most of the time that's the so-called 100-hour games. You get burned out from it and never play it again. How many people are still playing the best game ever, Elden Ring? You can't act like RPGs games makes as much money as GTA or any other open world game. Right? I had a small hiccup, but you can read and understand what I'm saying. Now, like they do all the time, they couldn't rebuttal what I said. Right? They couldn't come up with facts. They couldn't tell me that Larian Studio, how much they spend on the game. They couldn't tell me about anything. Right? Like literally, motion cap and paying actors cost a lot of money. All of these locations and how they make games cost money. It costs a hell of a lot of money. This game is an over-the-top game that does not push any graphical settings to its max. So you're acting like it's not that hard to program an RPG and make it do multiple things. When I played RPGs back in the early 2000s that had what was it? I called it was a rebirth or a generational engine. I think it's Grillancer. Grillancer had a generational engine. Whatever you did in the game, and then you had a relationship with somebody else, and then you had a child. And then the child, the whole world would remember what you did, and it would go back and tell all the things you did, and then you have another generation and like that. It wasn't that hard to create in a RPG. It would be harder to create that in a open world AAA game. You know why? Because sometimes the computer and the codes and everything else in the game will fuck up and mess it up. And sometimes you would get glitches. This is why all these RPGs have glitches. Nobody can never talk about the fact is that the towers and the collectibles get you through the map. It's more telling you to go to this place and play in a different play style. It means that if I got all these different weapons, I can go and try whatever play style that I can't do in the open world, I could do it in that outpost. Now the tower situation, you have an argument for that. Some games shouldn't have towers. Some games should have command systems where you go talk to somebody or, open up a net and they open it up. But most people want to have these mechanics in there so they can know where they left off at, where they can start at, and where they can pick up where they left off at. It ain't about being lazy. It's about it being convenient for you to play. Because I can tell you this right now. There's people who played Elden Ring last year, got bored of it, put it down, and tried to pick it up 3 months later, and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it was like, I gotta go and find everything in this damn map. This shit sucks. I'm selling this. So, people proceed to talk shit about me, right? Would it hurt you to learn some proper grammar? Like, put some in there so that it doesn't hurt your lungs to read your comments. So, mind you, this is what happens when they lose arguments and they can't talk down to your argument, right? They can't talk to your point, but they can run around and talk about grammar, right? This is a tactic for fucking kids and idiots, where they attack your grammar and act like they don't understand you, and then they get other people to talk about you and dogpile you, right? Because they think they're more intelligent than you are. So this guy says, and who said about money? We're talking about the quality of the game and how much it makes annually, not how much it makes annually. See, the quality of the game is not high quality because it's a damn RPG. You can't put a RPG against an open world. You know why? Because they're different fucking games. I'm talking about money-wise because the fact is, other studios are not going to sit back and ask for more money from the gaming company in order to make this expansive storyline to a bunch of people who ain't going to play their game again, are not going to play their game ever, are going to be burnt out by their experience and won't play it. I just showed The Witcher 3. Most people didn't even beat the game. Only 27% people beat the game and beat the main story because they were so busy. So I want to do this, I want to do that. And then they got bored of it. Because you get burned out from playing games way too long. But now, for one person, this is the gaming community in general. I got one person, I got 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 people, homie. Baldur's Gate 3 is an open world game. You could go anywhere in the game. Wait, Baldur's Gate is an open world game that looks like a over-the-top RPG game. It's an open world game that doesn't have any type of realism, texture, or anything else like that. Like I said before, I don't want to make this video super long. They don't have any locations in the game that resembles different camera angles. I'm looking at over the top. So wait. This is Baldur's Gate 3. This is open world? I didn't get it. This is open world. This is open world with a menu in the middle of the world where you look at your character and you're doing little magics and stuff, and you got a UI on the camera, but this is an open world, right? If other open world games did the same thing, you would say it was hand holding, right? The character models in this game are small. They're not big. Now, let's compare another open world to this game. Horizon Forbidden West. The details. Now, let's see. So, this is an open world. Not an over the top. And it has more details than Baldur's Gate. Now, let's see. This is an open world where you can see over the landscape. You can see locations. You can walk through the world without the camera being so far from you, where the camera is right near you as the person you are. It's not an open world game. It's a fucking RPG. It is not an open world game. You can create a Baldur's Gate 3 next year. Anybody can create a Baldur's Gate 3 in 2 or 3 years. It'll take years to create a Horizon, and with all. So, it was continues. They continue to try to call me dumb. Then they called me a kid. Then they try to sit back and tell me how dumb I am, my grandma, and all this other shit that they said the same shit over and over again. And it's like you run into these fake ass gamers, these fake ass butt lickers of every fucking game they possibly can get. You know, you got the CD Projekt Red pieces of shit who's turn around and say how CD Projekt Red is a great company when it took them 3 years to make it to upgrade their game, and how they the best game ever, and they can't do no wrong. But then they would turn around and talk shit about other companies who would take long to increase their games. They'll be on the same video, they'll be on the same channel saying something different, cheerleading for another game that did the same thing to a game that they don't like, and they don't give it no credit. So, how many people beat Elden Ring? Let's go to that. Let's go back to how many people beat Elden Ring, right? Oops. So, how many players actually beat Elden Ring? According to data on how to beat, Elden Ring is a 2022 most completed game with nearly 6,000 users report they have beaten the game. 60,000, but the game's supposed to have millions of people beating it. Less than 37% of players have beaten the game. So, this is what I'm talking about. The same people who was talking shit, the companies know about how the companies know not to waste money on a bunch of people who ain't gonna beat a game. Even CD Projekt Red said they developed Cyberpunk for you to beat it through the main missions. Because everybody was complaining about how long the game Witcher 3 was. So, nobody said anything about my points. No one actually tried to debate me. Nobody tried to prove me wrong. All they did was call me a kid, try to threaten me, and say that they know where I'm at. And I said, okay, come on. That's not the only time a person came to Philly and was gonna be hurt. This is why I don't communicate in the gaming community, the anime community, the wrestling community, because a lot of these people have low IQs. They're a bunch of followers. They don't have any kind of deductive reasoning. They don't have any kind of ability to actually know history. They don't know anything about nothing. All they know how to do is group up, talk shit, and then think they won the argument by calling you a kid, or think they won the argument by having so many people talk about you that you eventually will give up. The reason why I lasted so long when I was talking trash to these people was because I was downloading a big ass file, and it took like 4 or 5 hours. It was the seasons of Justified. And it was in 180p. So I downloaded all 6 seasons of Justified so I could rewatch Justified to remind myself how good the show was, or maybe I forgot it. And the shit took a long time because I downloaded each season by itself, 180p. I would never dare try to download a fucking 4K anything. Hell no. The shit gonna take but 180p took a very long time for each season. So I entertain this shit. But this is me telling you this and showing you this video is the reason why I don't really fuck with the gaming community, the anime community, the wrestling community. They're a bunch of followers and they have low ass IQs and they don't know shit about gaming. If you ask them about the best RPG systems in gaming, I could take them all the way back to PlayStation 2 while they don't know anything about it. I have played JRPGs. You know, there's games out there that have the so-called Nemesis system. One game have the Nemesis system. Guess what? Nobody else have the Nemesis system. Same thing, these same people didn't give praise to Metal Gear Solid 5 and how they their difficulties, adaptable difficulties, how that was one of the highlights of the game. Or they didn't talk about the exploration in Metro Exodus, where you didn't have any waypoints and shit on there. You had to literally look at a map, a board map, and see where you was at. See, you see what they don't say and you see what they do say. And you be like, okay, you guys are fake and phony. There's no way in hell that y'all miss all the great details and all the great games that come out. And then you just say every single game is bad because that's all you play is those bad games. I don't play bad games to talk trash about them. I didn't play that whack ass Days Before bullshit. I didn't play that whack ass Walking Dead game. I didn't play Golem. I didn't play Saint Rose for people. The difference between how dishonest these people is, these content creators, YouTube content creators, most of them are very dishonest and they do it for money. They're very dishonest and they know that their fans are going to turn against them. I mean, there's one content creator who talked about Elden Ring and everybody was talking shit about him because he liked Valhalla, but he didn't like Elden Ring. Okay. And this ain't the only time. See, the difference between Twitter and what is it? The difference between Twitter and YouTube is that Twitter, you only have a little bit to say. You could say only a little bit. And nobody can really talk shit about your grammar when you don't have enough shit. You don't have enough characters to put down. You got to say something short and sweet. Usually I beat the shit out of everybody on Twitter because they try that same grammar shit and they lose. Because other people looking at the list. There's more traffic on Twitter than some of these YouTube comments. So it got a lot of low IQ, piece of garbage people. So let's go to the people who talk shit about me. Let's go and see their comments. Now, these are the people who don't have people responding to them, so they needed to feel good about themselves. So let's go. Now, this person does not have nothing on their channel. They got 3 subscribers and nothing on their channel. But they want to talk shit. Now, these people was ready. A lot of these people don't get paid attention to. I showed when I went viral. I went viral 2 times. I had big stars follow me. But these people never know what it's like to even have a lot of followers. Now, mind you, this person made a comment 4 months ago, and guess what? Nobody comment on this person's comment. AAA studios have got lazy too corporate to make any good anymore. See, and basically, they don't know how to write. But let's right here. I like Cyberpunk after it had some development, but CD Projekt Red should have just said outright they needed more time to fix it and polish it. They took another year, heck, maybe 2, to fully polish it. It was laziness and a race to get games out, which never result in anything good. Full stop. He liked Cyberpunk. This is what I'm talking about. You like Cyberpunk, but it was a broken mess. But for some reason, other games are broken and they got the same radio towers and all this other shit. This is why I say a lot of these are bald lickers for companies. Now, let's go to another comment. This whole rant is basically we got paid industry standard ways for working. So we work, we can't be bad. Back in the early 2000s where social media, we had MySpace and nobody knew how to use it. So nobody could make a fool of themselves. There was at least a shroud of mystery covering Bethesda. What are you talking about? Let's go to another comment. 19 minutes ago, nobody said anything to this guy. This is 7 months ago. These are the people who are in the comment section coming after me. This is what the gaming community is filled with. I remember when we first came on YouTube and there was a flourish of content creators. I can name them right now. Some black content creators and I think some white. You had Phone99, Uber Carby. You had Insane Gamer. You had Utaku Assemble. You had a lot of anime gaming guys in this space. You had a lot of people who came into space and they was honest. They were fun. The gaming community was a lot more pure. The anime community was a lot more pure. The wrestling community was a lot more pure. And everybody knew exactly what the fuck they were talking about. They didn't have just these idiots saying shit like this. GAY ain't no dildo. I realized they had problems changing when I learned they basically using the same engine for over 12 years and only updated higher fidelity. Now, he's pretty popular on this channel. Oh, not no more. I'm going to be disappointed waiting all this time. They released a broken, unfinished product still. And they say shit like this. Whenever did Rockstar release an unbroken product? Grand Theft Auto 5 was not broken on release. I played the shit out of that game when it first came out. Beat it 3 times back to back when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Grand Theft Auto 4, it had some bugs, but the fact is it wasn't a broken mess. It was one of the best games, and from the time that I played Grand Theft Auto 4, see, I'm not like you fake fucking fans for Elden Ring and Boulder Gate and say how great the game is. I played Grand Theft Auto, after I beat it in 2008, because I didn't have it, my friend had it. I got it the next year. I played it 2009, 2010. I played it every single summer. 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I played it when it 13 hit, I played it alongside Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. So I played Grand Theft Auto 5 years straight every single summer. Because I beat it in the summer. And never once did the game give me fucking problems. Until I got the triple collection, where I had the Grand Theft Auto 4 collection and the Liberty City stories in one disc. And that shit was a buggy mess. But let's go down the list. Let's see these people right now. Let's see what these people say in other comment sections. Now, this guy is hating on Grand Theft Auto. It's funny that somehow, some way, you can hate on other companies and praise others, but nobody said nothing to this guy. Bro, who cares? Who cares? The trailer shows nothing crazy. It's just a trailer. There's not even gameplay. I saw the trailer and was like, yeah, okay, it's Grand Theft Auto. I don't understand how it can ruin anything if anyone just more hype than throughout the trailer. It literally showed nothing interesting. These are the type of gamers who want you to show everything to them at any cost. They think that they're worth that. I told people before behind the scenes, the gamers that I can talk to, I said, these motherfuckers these new gamers are the most entitled pieces of shit that I ever seen. They are the most entitled, fucking spoiled, egotistical gamers that I ever seen. These people think that that gaming should just give them everything, right? But then all the while, they don't ask for everything for other things. Because the kind of prices that you pay, you go out and you pay $100. For $100 in some of these fucking Denny's and all this other place, they should be giving me a napkin. They should be giving me doggy bag. They should be giving me some kind of sticker or something for paying $100 at their fucking place or whatever. But they don't ask this much to the real world shit. But they ask a lot for gaming. Let's go again. Let's see more again. I'm a little annoyed they didn't properly explain hanging out with parts or features. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you don't get to play all the sensitive with the audience skin because see, that's what I'm saying. But I'm told my grammar sucks. Okay, sure. Again, because the last time it led players to speculate and imagine so many things that not in the game. They hype themselves beyond only to get crushed by their delusions. Just like you stupid shit. Don't get me wrong. I don't think nobody expect any major features to come after 2.0. But I'm here and it's awesome. See, this is what I'm talking about. These guys are cheerleaders for Pacific. These guys are cheerleaders for Pacific fucking companies. And then they hate on other companies because other people like it. Like I said before, I'm going to screenshot what these idiots say. And then I'm going to come to them later on. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I think GTA is going to have a decent story with a few plot holes taking place in Florida. I wonder if they're going to include some of the politics going on down in there. Famous phrase that's been melted to hell. they through the throughout the main draw in the game, like GTA 5 will be the new online section, as both sides of blah 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 is bullshit, is bad for you. But this guy was just talking shit about me, telling me that he'll see me in 5 years about GTA when the trailer clearly indicates that it's coming out 2025. Jesus, man. So I didn't want to make this shit this long. I had another video made up. Like I said, man. There's a reason why I don't interact with the gaming community. There's a reason why I don't interact with the anime community, and there's a reason why I don't act with the pro wrestler community. Some people are just there because they can't fit into general society, and you see it with their response. They come into hobbies that people spent their entire life on, and they think they know everything based off playing the game for a couple years.